Welcome back to Knowledge Drops, the place where we distill the best books on business, life, and success into actionable insights. Today, we're exploring the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. This book is a collection of Naval's wisdom on building wealth, finding happiness, and mastering life's challenges. If you've ever been curious about how to live a richer, more fulfilling life, stay tuned as we take you through each chapter. Let's dive in. In Chapter 1, Naval challenges the way most of us think about wealth. To him, wealth isn't just about having lots of money, it's about having the freedom to do what you want, when you want. He argues that real wealth comes from owning assets that generate income for you without requiring you to trade your time for money. Naval breaks it down simply. If you're working a job where you're trading time for money, you're limited by the hours in a day. Instead, you should focus on building or acquiring assets. Whether that's owning a business, investing in real estate, or even intellectual property, like writing a book or creating a software product. These assets earn you money even when you're not working, and that's what creates true freedom. One key takeaway from this chapter is that time is your most valuable asset. The goal isn't to be rich for the sake of having money, but to have control over how you spend your time. This leads us to an essential point Naval makes. The ultimate form of wealth is freedom. Wealth should give you the freedom to live life on your terms. In Chapter 2, Naval breaks down how the digital age has completely changed the way we make money. He introduces the concept of leverage, explaining that in the modern world, you don't need a massive team or huge capital to create wealth. Instead, leverage now comes in three key forms: people, capital, and most importantly, technology. Let's break that down. Capital leverage is using other people's money to create wealth. Think of venture capitalists investing in startups. Labor leverage is traditional, you hire people to work for you. But the real game changer in today's world is technology leverage. With code and content, you can build something once, like an app, a YouTube channel, or a blog, and have it scale to reach millions of people without needing to work more hours. Naval emphasizes that technology is the new form of leverage that's accessible to anyone. You don't need permission to build an app or start a YouTube channel. This is incredibly powerful because it democratizes the ability to create wealth in ways that weren't possible just a few decades ago. Chapter 3 is all about finding and cultivating what Naval calls specific knowledge. This isn't something you learn from textbooks or universities. It's knowledge that's unique to you, often developed through your own curiosity and life experiences. Here's the thing, specific knowledge is difficult to replicate or automate, and that's what makes it valuable. For example, think of someone who's really good at negotiating complex business deals, or a musician who's developed a unique style. These are skills that can't easily be taught in a formal setting, but they're incredibly valuable in the marketplace. Naval's advice is to follow your curiosity and develop skills that align with your natural talents and interests. Don't try to fit into someone else's mold. The beauty of specific knowledge is that it makes you irreplaceable. No one can do what you do exactly the way you do it. Imagine you love coding and are also passionate about photography. Over time, you might develop a unique skill set that allows you to create innovative software for photographers, combining your knowledge of both fields. That's specific knowledge. Now let's talk about happiness. Naval has an unconventional view on this. Happiness, he argues, is a skill. Most of us think happiness is something we achieve after we meet certain goals, whether it's getting a promotion, finding a partner, or buying a house. But Naval flips that idea on its head. He says happiness comes from within, and it's something you can practice just like any other skill. A big part of this chapter is about reducing desires. Naval suggests that one of the main sources of unhappiness is the constant chase for more money, more status, more things. The more you want, the harder it is to be content. His advice? Stop trying to achieve happiness by acquiring things and focus on eliminating the desires that create dissatisfaction. Think about how social media encourages comparison. When you see others flaunting their success or wealth, it creates a feeling of inadequacy. Naval's solution is to tune out that noise and realize that happiness is a choice. It's about being content with what you have, not constantly wanting more. In Chapter 5, Naval talks about the power of compound interest, not just in finance but in all areas of life. The idea is simple. Small, consistent improvements over time lead to massive results. This applies to building wealth, yes, but also to relationships, learning, and personal development. Here's a practical example. If you invest a small amount of money regularly, compound interest means that your wealth will grow exponentially over time. But this concept applies equally to your personal life. If you make small, daily improvements, whether it's reading 10 pages of a book each day or investing in your relationships, the effects will compound, creating massive growth over years or even decades. Naval's point here is to focus on actions that provide long-term value and avoid the temptation of short-term gratification. The real gains in life come from sticking with something consistently over time. Naval's advice for achieving success and happiness can be distilled into one simple idea: cultivate a calm mind. In Chapter 6, he argues that a calm, clear mind is one of the most valuable assets you can have. Why? Because in a world full of distractions, it's only when you're calm that you can make the best decisions. Naval believes that most of the chaos in our lives comes from competing for things that don't really matter. He advises cutting out toxic influences, whether that's people, media, or environments that drain your mental energy. When you have a calm mind, you stop reacting to every little thing and can focus on what truly matters, whether that's your health, your relationships, or your business. In the final chapter, Naval talks about the importance of loving the game. Whatever you're doing, whether it's building a business, working on a creative project, or learning a new skill, find joy in the process. It's not about the destination, but the journey. Naval believes that when you love the process, success becomes inevitable. This isn't just about work, it's about life. Naval reminds us that life is a single-player game. You set your own rules and goals. There's no need to compete with others because the only competition that matters is with yourself. The people who are happiest aren't the ones who are constantly winning, but those who love playing the game. Think of an entrepreneur who loves solving problems. Whether they succeed or fail in a particular venture, they're happy because they enjoy the challenge itself. That's what Naval encourages us to cultivate, a love for the process, not just the results. So, let's wrap up by summarizing the core principles from the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. Naval's ideas revolve around three key areas that everyone aspires to: health, wealth, and happiness. But his take on each of these is refreshingly different from the traditional approaches. Wealth formula. Naval's formula for wealth isn't about earning more money by working harder, it's about building systems and acquiring assets that work for you. He talks about the importance of leverage, whether that's through technology, media, or capital. Here's his simplified wealth equation. Wealth equals assets, x leverage. Assets could be your business, investments, or intellectual property. Leverage, especially through technology, allows you to scale your efforts beyond your own time. Naval emphasizes that wealth is freedom. Freedom from the need to work constantly and the ability to control your time. Wealth isn't about having lots of money to spend, it's about having the ability to choose how you spend your life. Health formula. Visuals of fitness, nutrition, and mental well-being. Voiceover. Naval's approach to health focuses on both physical and mental well-being. For physical health, he believes in keeping things simple. Exercise regularly, plus eat minimally, processed food, plus sleep well. This isn't rocket science, but Naval suggests that consistency in these areas leads to the compounding benefits we talked about earlier. Small, daily actions lead to massive long-term improvements in your health. For mental health, Naval's formula is based on cultivating peace of mind. Meditation, self-awareness, and reducing distractions are key. Naval advises us to focus on mental clarity and inner peace, as these are essential to making better life decisions. Happiness formula. Visuals of tranquil environments and happy individuals living balanced lives. Voiceover. Naval's formula for happiness might surprise you. He argues that happiness isn't something you pursue, it's something you practice. His happiness formula is happiness equals desire reduction plus present moment awareness. This means reducing the number of things you want while cultivating gratitude for what you already have. The fewer desires you have, the easier it is to be content. And by focusing on being fully present in the moment, you let go of anxiety about the past or future. Naval's happiness philosophy also ties into his ideas about freedom and inner peace. Instead of chasing external rewards, like money or status, he encourages us to focus inward and develop a state of mind that isn't dependent on outside conditions. Closing thoughts. In conclusion, the Almanack of Naval Ravikant is more than just a guide to success. It's a framework for living a fulfilled life. Whether you're focused on building wealth, improving your health, or finding lasting happiness, Naval's wisdom offers practical, timeless advice. His focus on leverage, specific knowledge, and happiness as a skill sets him apart from the typical self-help or finance gurus. And that's a breakdown of the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. It's a powerful guide on how to achieve both wealth and happiness, and it challenges traditional notions of success. Thanks for tuning in to Knowledge Drops. If you found value in this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment below with your favorite lesson from Naval. See you next time.